Hello again. I'm going to talk about another couple of verses from the Dhammapada, ones I don't think I've talked about before. So here they go. As rain breaks into an ill-thatched house, so craving breaks into an ill-trained mind. As rain does not break into a well-thatched house, so craving does not break into a well-trained mind. So, what's the problem with craving? It's a good question. Good place to start, isn't it? What is the problem with craving? Well, the main thing, of course, is that craving leads to craving. As soon as we feed craving, as we give ourselves what we want, we tend to increase the desire for those things. So there's no end to craving. And what sort of state of mind is it when we crave? Well, it isn't a very peaceful state of mind. It's a state of mind, really, that's always pushing us from behind to want something, to want lots of things, to want to keep wanting things. And so it's a state where we're not content, we're not relaxed, we're not satisfied. And that lack of satisfaction actually is very uncomfortable if we can really bring awareness to it. And we can see this actually in meditation. When you're meditating and things are, well, you're labeling them as not going well, there is some desire there, isn't there? Some desire for some different experience. Wanting, well, whatever it is, peacefulness, wanting all the thoughts to stop. So, yes, that kind of push, it is a form of craving, a craving for us to experience something that we're not actually experiencing. So it's interesting, isn't it, in this verse, that it's likened to an ill-thatched house that lets the rain in. So if we think of that image, it's quite a good one. We're just letting in everything. We're not able to be secure and warm and whole in how we are. We're letting in something quite uncomfortable. Doesn't feel uncomfortable, and that's the problem with it, really. Craving feels quite entertaining. It feels, well, temporarily anyway, it feels quite fulfilling. It's like have. I want that. I'm going to have it. I'm going to research it. I'm going to look on the internet. I'm going to find the best deal. Then I'm going to get it. And then that parcel, that tantalizing parcel, arrives in the post. It's all geared up to make us just want more and more and more. And of course, there's no end to it. So it's not just for ourselves, actually, that we're hurting when we're craving all the time, particularly for things, but also it's hurting the planet, it's hurting our environment, and it's hurting other people. So it's quite obvious how it's hurting the planet and our environment, isn't it? Because it all involves more things, new things, and constantly feeding this sense of us wanting different things, new things all the time. And of course, we're encouraged to do that. Advertising is very clever. It's made so that we feel a lack, we feel inadequate if we haven't got these things. I remember years ago seeing, I think it was actually on the news, this queue of people who were queuing up for the latest iPhone. And this queue went right round the block. These people wanted to be first. They wanted to have the very latest thing. And they were standing out there in the cold. I think it was a cold day, and all to to just beat the average person who hadn't got it. Anyway, yeah, we are gradually using up all our resources on the planet, and we know that. And it's very hard to stop it because greed, hatred, and delusion are at the center of our being. So how does it hurt other people that we crave? Well, often we crave people, and when we do, we don't really see them as people. So that's particularly, at times when maybe we fall in love or we get really attracted to somebody. So what happens then is that we, like we do with anything else, with clothes, with goods of any sort, we start projecting something onto them that they haven't got. In other words, they are going to make us happy. They are what we really want. If we have that, then we're going to be happy. So we manage to fool ourselves. We manage to tell ourselves something that just isn't true. And it's because we don't see through whatever it is. So if it's another person, we just don't see who they really are. We don't see them as they are. You even have how they see themselves. We see perfection, or we see something in them that we haven't got. And yeah, I think falling in love and being attracted to people is a very interesting phenomena as far as the kind of delusion that we're under. So, for example, let's say that you fall in love with somebody. There they are, this gorgeous human being, and they've got the most beautiful hair, dark red hair, pitch black hair, whatever it is. But if one of their hairs was in your dinner, is that hair so wonderful after all? No, it looks great on them when it's all together on their head, but put it somewhere else, put it in your food, and it becomes disgusting. I don't know if that explains it to you, but actually we're projecting all the time. That person that you're really attracted to sits on the toilet, they blow their nose, they have bad breath sometimes, it's like they're just the same as anybody else, but that's not what we see. We don't see that. We see something else. And of course, then we become, dependent on their response, on their responsiveness. So basically what I'm saying is that a lot of the time we're not whole in ourselves. We're not able to relax into our own being and be content with how we are. And it certainly helps to realize the brevity of life, how we are alive for just a millisecond, really. It's a very, very short lifespan that we have. And of course, when we die, we won't take anything with us. Doesn't matter how hard we've worked. It doesn't matter how big a house we've bought. None of that will mean anything. And so, Buddhism teaches us to be more and more aware so that we are more drawn to the well-thatched house, so that craving does not break into an ill-thatched house. Craving does not break into an untrained mind. So what do we mean by training and being untrained? Well, it's really about mindfulness and about awareness, about really knowing what is of value, what can really sustain us. And there is no external thing that can do that because it's impermanent and unreliable. So, reducing our craving, or at least seeing it for what it is, and not being over-dependent on getting what we want all the time, is a very helpful practice. So I'll just repeat those verses. As rain breaks into an ill-thatched house, so craving breaks into an ill-trained mind. As rain does not break into a well-thatched house, so craving does not break into a well-trained mind. That's all for now. Bye.